Following my other video on brainwave states when we're asleep, I've rearranged my bed here, as you might notice, to do another video and talk about the stages of sleep. I'll be covering this in much more detail in our masterclass on Tuesday, but it's really interesting to know what happens when we sleep. And we start off, obviously, we're awake, and on an ideal night, we don't really do anything much at all, maybe some routines, maybe some sort of wind down things, but we get into bed and we fall asleep. It doesn't take any effort. It's actually easiest when we don't try. We don't do anything in particular. We all have a natural ability to go from our wakeful state into the first stage. We drop straight through into the first stage of non-REM sleep, which is just a slowing down of some brain waves, a shutting off of awareness, before we then progress in about 10 or 20 minutes into the second stage of non-REM sleep, which is when we actually get remarkable things called sleep spindles. The brain wave starts to slow down, but it does rapid whole brain oscillations between fully on and fully off. They're called sleep spindles, and another thing called K complexes. And scientists are still figuring it out, but these seem to be real times when the brain learns a lot, processes a lot of memories, and is really important for laying down memories and seeing things differently in the brain. It doesn't happen for very long, it's just a few minutes of it, but it's a really important stage of sleep, and happens more in the first cycle of sleep, so it's good. It's one reason to get to bed near your normal bedtime to get the most benefit out of that stage. A similar thing applies to the deepest stage. It's the third stage of non-REM sleep. Deep or slow wave sleep is when our bodies rest, growth hormones released a lot. We get more of it in the early hours and the early stages of our sleep. So again, the early hours of our sleep are really important for the growth hormone, which is helpful for our body, physical health, the immune system, but also for our brain and learning. Before, after about 45 minutes, we start to cycle back up through those stages. And towards the end, at about 80 minutes or so, we get into a short stage of REM sleep, which is a unique experience and brain state where the brain actually gets quite active like it is when we're awake, although we're not conscious. And in fact, our whole bodies are effectively told not to move, so we don't act out any of our dreams. And gets longer as we go through about 5 of those cycles during a night, and the cycles are the same length, but the REM sleep gets longer and the deeper sleep of slow wave non-REM sleep gets shorter. So we get more emotional benefit as the night goes on, and we get longer REM sleep, and that's when really our emotional memories are processed and are moved around in the brain to be narrative memories rather than things, so we can let go of fears, let go of things that we might have, of traumatic experiences, for example, can be processed quite powerfully in that stage. So that REM sleep is really important for that. And the longest stage of that is right before we wake up, after ideally 5 of those cycles, which is at about 7 or 8 hours of length of sleep. And then we wake up. That's the cycles of sleep. Just to recap, there's being awake, there's 1, 2, 3 levels of non-REM sleep, and then there's a stage of rapid eye movement sleep. And we cycle through all of those in about 90 minutes. And we do that about 5 times within the course of a good night's sleep. Hope that's interesting. Hope that helps. More info at my masterclasses, or I'll do more posts. Tell me what you find interesting. Tell me what you're curious about, what you'd like to know more about, and I'll post some more. Sleep well.